introducing GForceTV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForceTV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForceTV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForceTV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForceTV racing leagues. GForceTV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForceTV.
Good evening and welcome back to some Monday Night Madness here on GForceTV and GeForce Esports. Tonight, it's the Renegades, and they head to the track that'll chew you up and spit you out. It is the Fairbury American Legion Speedway in Fairbury, Illinois, tonight for these Renegades. All of tonight's action brought to you by SBGC 3D Printing. They bring you the Monday Night Madness each and every week. We thank them so much for all that they do for the GeForce Racing Leagues. And you want to check out some great, cool products for 3D printing. SBGC 3D Printing has it. They make some cutting-edge technology accessible for anyone who has an idea and needs it to be manufactured. They use 3D CAD programs, and they'll work with you to create an invention or creative project. That's the cool thing. Whether it's a serious pump for serious mechanical works or maybe just an accessory for your next cosplay costume, they'll do it for you at SBGC 3D Printing. Check them out on Facebook. They bring us the Renegades here on Monday night. Our drivers heading in for the pit meeting. That is happening right now. They'll have a couple more moments of practice, and then we'll roll in to Spartan Racing qualifying here tonight as we get set for week number 3 of this season. Of course, this is the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show. Gambler Motorsports, that's an esports racing team, and they compete all across the iRacing platform. They've got dirt racing teams. They'll enter in sports car events, asphalt oval. They even compete in endurance races like the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona and in Le Mans. Head on over to Gambler Motorsports on Facebook, and when you're there, make sure you give them a follow. An important part of our Gambler Motorsports pre-race show each and every week here is to take a look at the standings. And with 2 races in the event in the books, we can start really looking at these standings. As we know, Lane Snook has been one of the most consistent drivers here early out. He has been very, very fast. He's your points leader, the driver of the 123 out of Pennsylvania. He leads the points coming into tonight's action here at the Fairbury Speedway. Jonathan Short sits number 2 in the point standings coming into tonight's action. Keep in mind, Jonathan Short went. What was that again, Ryan? I got my producer Ryan Dugan is back tonight. He just told me something. Oh, okay. I'll take care of that here in a moment, Ryan. See, isn't this cool when we're doing live TV? Jonathan Short picked up the feature win to start this season at the Lernerville Speedway. He sits number 2 in the points. Matthew Croakey is number 3, and in the 4th spot in the point standings, Trent Verstraeten. Stephen Fernberg, number 5 in the points coming into tonight's event. They'll be followed by Aiden Young, 6th. Blake Chapman is 7th. Matt Ramsey is 8th. Jeffrey Barker is 9th. And Brian Moore Jr. completing your top 10 in points coming into tonight's event here at the Fairbury Speedway. Talked about Jonathan Short getting the win the opener at the Lernerville Speedway. Well, what about last week? If you'll remember, we were at the Knoxville Raceway where Stephen Goldner got a win over Kyle Moonen, who was second. Moonen charging hard through the field late in that event, as did Lane Snook at the line. He took the third spot. Matthew Croakey, and what a photo finish that was for third. It was down to milliseconds to settle that one. Croakey was third last week at the Knoxville Raceway, and Preston Cranmer rounded out your top 5 last Monday Night Madness for these SBGC 3D printing Renegades of the GeForce Racing League. So that is a look at your iRacing League Manager points standings. Of course, iRacing League Manager, if you run or managing an iRacing League, let iRacing League Manager make it easier for you. Why spend all of those hours doing all of the work that iRacing League Manager can do for you? Go to iRacingLeagueManager.com to see what they can do for you and your iRacing leagues, as of course that is the official point standings manager of the GeForce Racing Leagues. And you know what? They need the iRacing League Manager with 20-some leagues running almost every day of the week. And yeah, they'll run everything from dirt tracks with these Renegades and the sprint cars to the big blocks that we'll see on Thursday. Late models we'll see on Friday, the Hometown Heroes Series on Wednesday. And then, of course, they've got more action. They've got the road racing. They've got trucks. They've got cup cars. They've got everything. Head over to GeForceRL.com to see the league that is just right for you. And, of course, we've got multiple broadcasts each and every week with the GeForce Racing Leagues. And you can learn there how to rise through the ranks and make it to the broadcast level events. Again, that's at GeForceRL.com. So take a look at that. And, again, a big thank you to iRacing League Manager for bringing us a look at the point standings coming into tonight's event. Taking a look at the weather here tonight at the Fairbury Speedway as the checker flag flies on qualifying tonight. 77 perfect degrees here in Fairbury, Illinois, at least in the virtual world. 77-degree track temperature as well. Of course, that's Fahrenheit for our friends north of the border. No breeze, so very light breeze, 2 miles an hour, so barely a whisper of wind movement out there as you enjoy the action here from the Fairbury Speedway. Cars on the clock now for qualifications tonight here for the SBGC 3D printing. Of course, qualifying brought to us by Spartan Racing. They feature drivers from parts of the U.S. and Canada. They compete mostly in the dirt side of iRacing and run in multiple leagues with an emphasis on GeForce Racing Leagues. Head over to Spartan Racing on Facebook and give them a follow. Your points leader right there, top of the chart, Lane Snook, will go with an 11:23. He goes top of the charts. Teammate Jesse Bandy right behind him, second quick in the 57, 11:24. Preston Cranmer, 11:32. Jeff Fitzpatrick back in action tonight. The 90 sits fourth right now, just in front of Kevin Fry. See the times there on the left side of your screen rolling through as we take a look at the best lap times here so far in Spartan Racing qualifications, as they'll roll across the top of your screen with a little more detail as well. You see cars out there on the track, the names and times rolling across the bottom. Looks like Brendan Lacey, who comes off the Rebels win here tonight in the 414 machine, just jumped up to sixth quick, 11:33. Stephen Fernberg, seventh quick. Saw Corey Kussler just move into the top 10 in the 126 machine. But right now, it is still your points leader, the 123 of Lane Snook, showing the way in our Spartan Racing qualifications. Bandy, Cranmer, Fitzpatrick, and Kevin Fry remain in the top 5. As we go under 1 minute left for all of these drivers to make their way around the speedway and get their qualifying times in. Of course, Spartan Racing qualifying results set our starting lineups for the heat races here tonight. John Short just into the top 10 there in the 51 ride. Stephen Goldner, 20th quick in the number 30 machine. So cars out here on the speedway now. Now Goldner will pick it up on his second lap. It looks like, yes, he will. Moves up to the 17th spot at 11:57. John Short out there on the speedway. We'll see what he clocks in at. He'll slow to a 12.5 on that lap, so that lap won't help him at all. And looks like that is about it for drivers to finish up their qualifying efforts here tonight at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. Quarter-mile racetrack. So you want to talk about tight little racetracks? Yeah, this one, you're going to be moving and scooting around here as you see those lap times there. Everyone in the top 20 under 11 seconds. Everybody in the top 13 under 11 and a half seconds. So, yeah, these are going to be very, very quick laps around this racetrack. Things happen in a hurry. You've got banking on the bottom of the racetrack that slips the opposite way, makes you slide down the track back out towards the middle. You've got the infield tractor tires. You've got the very, very unforgiving wall on the outside of this racetrack. And with progressive banking here at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway, meaning there's more banking on the top than there is at the bottom, well, that just means it's typically quicker around the top. So you'll see these drivers come right out of the gate tonight and flirt with that concrete wall on the outside of the track all night long. It is very rare on iRacing to see the groove go all the way to the bottom here at Fairbury, although you can make up some ground down there if you get the car rolling just right. So keep that in mind as we progress through all of our events here this evening. I'm Sean Niestead. Glad to be with you here once again. Had last Thursday night off and want to wish our best tonight. Scotty DeYoung, a little under the weather. Hoping he's tuned in to enjoy our program tonight. And he's on the mend, heading the back in the right direction. And looking forward to getting Scotty Tuhati back on the call with us here very, very soon with our Monday Night Madness. And, of course, we'll have the A&J Custom Creations Big Block Modifieds event coming up this Thursday night as well. So check that out when we roll into Thursday night action. Looks like Sean Bowers out on the racetrack. He'd be the 30th driver to time in, and he'll go 13th quick on that lap in 11:42. So Sean Bowers with the Hail Mary shot there right at the bucket. Buzzer beater gets him in to qualify here tonight. So nice job there for the driver who picked up a feature win last season with the Renegades. We're going to have a whole slew of heat race action coming up right now, 8 laps apiece on our qualifying heat races, and that will set the field for our consolation and main event here tonight. Keep in mind, the top 4 finishers out of each heat race will go directly to tonight's SBGC 3D Printing A main event. Starting lineup scheduled like this for heat race number 1, Aiden Young on the pole position in the number 69 with Corey Kussler alongside him in car number 126. Second row is made up of Brennan Lacey in the 414. Lane Snook, your quick timer tonight out of the Bandybuilt Racing stables. Back to all of row number 2 from Bandybuilt Racing. They'll line up in the 4th spot is your points leader. Now, I believe he will be going to the tail of the grid for some contact in last week's main event. So that's going to move G.J. Boydell to the outside of row 2. Row 3 will be made up of Joe Backus, the 46. Kyle Moonen will slip to the outside of that row. And I believe Lane Snook then coming from the back. Again, 8 laps the distance. 8 quick laps around the Fairbury Speedway. And heat race number 1 brought to us by A&J Custom Creations, where they specialize in laser engraving and CNC machining. They put craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque. A&J provides trophies and plaques to all of the GeForce League Division champions. Thank you, Andy Patton. Contact him for your custom creation today. Here we go. 8 laps waiting on the green. We will get it. We have got it. We are green here at Fairbury with Monday Night Madness. Lane Snook around the outside like a couple of trailer park girls, and immediately he goes from the back of the field up into a transfer spot as he works to the outside of Brennan Lacey. Meanwhile, out front, it is Aiden Young, the number 69 machine, showing the way. Corey Kussler runs in second. He's got Lane Snook there nipping on his heels, running in the 3rd spot, and your Raiders winner, Brennan Lacey, rounding out the transfer positions. All low contact between Lane Snook and Corey Kussler. Everyone's going to collect it up. Snook dives to the bottom. Slight job off of turn 4. Cussler gets into the tail of him. We've got more contact in this one. Now a slider. Now a little contact maybe between Lacey and Cussler. It's a wild one. Here's a big slider from Corey Cussler in the 126. Lane Snook goes right back by him. Just like that, we are halfway home in our A&J Custom Creations opening heat race. Aiden Young showing the way on this one, looking very strong out front as he enjoys a lead of 1.9 seconds. And we've got big trouble there behind your race leader. The biggest trouble, Corey Cussler into the wall. Now, looks like G.J. Boydell got into the wall. Now the 46 of Joe Backus, Dosey Does off turn 4. Oh, what is this going to shake out to be? Aiden Young is your leader. He'll come to the white flag in the number 69 machine, and he'll make his final quarter-mile circuit. Brendan Lacey runs in second. Lane Snook and Kyle Moonen has made his way into the final transfer spot as the checkered flag flies. It is Aiden Young picking up the win. Lacey, Snook, and Moonen, your transfers. Backus in the 5th spot at the checkered. So some wild action here, as always, at the Fairbury Speedway in our opening heat race. I told you in the as we open the show tonight with the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show, there's always plenty of action going on at this racetrack. As we'll take a quick peek at your results. You see Young, Lacey, Snook, and Mooden going to the A main. Backus, Cussler, and Boydell. They'll hope for better luck in tonight's B feature. Heat race number 2, the Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race, has Chad Cote on the pole position. He drives the number 11 machine. Matthew Croakey, the Phantom Motorsports number 2. He'll start next to him on our opening row. Row 2, that's Stephen Fernberg, the Pennsylvania driver, in the 29. Jesse Bandy out of Rochester, Minnesota, in the number 57 is your 4th starter. Row number 3, Zane Walters on the inside in the 31. Steven Spees, the 55, goes 6th, and Lance Ripka from the tail of the field in the 125. He's your 7th starter. Zane Walters, by the way, finished 4th earlier tonight in the Rebels race, and Lance Ripka was in 5th right behind him in the feature event earlier this evening. This is your Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 2. Of course, Scott Hurwitz, he's a multi-million-dollar commercial and residential real estate agent and has been so for many years. He'll help anyone find an experienced professional realtor anywhere across the country with the experience and knowledge to ask the right questions to get the best house for the right price. And with the housing market the way it is right now, those interest rates, that's very important. To contact Howard Hanna Real Estate and Scott Hurwitz. Here we go, heat race number 2, 8 laps, top 4 to the A main, and we are green. It'll be Matthew Croakey leading them on down into turn number 1. Here comes Jesse Bandy around the outside. That high line seems to be the favored one on the starts here at Fairbury, as everybody getting up there, putting the right rear right next to the concrete. The 11 of Chad Cote right now in the final transfer spot, following the 55 of Steven Spees. Steven Fernberg, 1 position out. See on your screen, 6 laps to go. The lead for Croakey, 0.4 of a second over Jesse Bandy. Croakey, Phantom Motorsports representation on that number 2 machine for the Power Outdoors entry. Just behind him, that is Jesse Bandy, the Bandy-built Racing, Milwaukee Tools looking ride for the 57. Steven Spees continues to run 3rd, and in 4th, Cote and that Dirt Company Media House. The 11 has that final transfer spot. Fernberg trying to chase him down, but found concrete instead and slowed down. Meanwhile, battle for 2nd. Steven Spees around the outside of Jesse Bandy. Bandy's going to fall back to 3rd, and Spees is on a mission to chase down your race leader, but does he have time? Down the back straightaway they go. A lap and a half remaining for Matthew Croakey just inside. Oh, here is the trouble off of turn 4. Croakey into the wall. Matthew Croakey got into the wall. Spees will take the lead. They'll come to the checkered flag, and it will be Steven Spees picking up 6 positions in that heat race to get the victory in the 55. Wow, what a run there for the 55 machine, as we'll have an opportunity to look at your official results here from heat race number 2 here tonight, the Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 2, and going to the show, Steven Spees, Jesse Bandy, Chad Cote, and Steven Fernberg, Lance Ripka, Zane Walters, Matthew Croakey. They'll have to do some B-main dancing coming up here in a little bit. Ryan Dugan, you're going to have to tell me whatever you're trying to tell me one more time as we'll take a look at. Okay. See, there you go. See, I worked in TV for 10 years, and Ryan just said, ignore me. Ignore what I'm trying to tell you. I did that for 10 years in TV when I worked with producers every day. Stephen Goldner on the pole of the Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team Heat Race number 3. Sean Bowers next to him in the 0-3. Jareth Pike, the 91, inside row 2. Preston Cranmer next to him in the 0-7. JP, Jeremy Paulson, 000 inside the 3rd row with Jeffrey Parker to his right in the 5-1-3. And Jack Hitt is your 7th and final starter in car 217. Heat race number 3 brought to us by Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team. They feature drivers from coast to coast in the U.S. and Canada. They're pleased to be part of the GeForce Racing Leagues since its very, very start. Here we go. 8 laps. Looks like we've got 6 cars on the track. We are green and underway on this heat race. Last week's A-Main winner, Stephen Goldner, the 3-0. He leads over the 0-3 of Sean Bowers. Off of turn number 4, looking to put the first lap into the books. It is the 30 of Stephen Goldner. Oh, he got it sideways. The result of that, contact into the rear end of the 0-3 of Sean Bowers. And now he gets driven into on the back straightaway. The 5-1-3 of Jeffrey Barker goes upside down. They'll motor on from the incident, but they've both fallen out of transfer spots. Your leader is Stephen Goldner in the 30. Jareth Pike runs in 2nd. Preston Cranmer in 3rd. And Jeremy Paulson right now in the 4th and final transfer spot, but still a handful of laps to go on this Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team Heat Race number 3. Just over a 4/10 of a second lead for Goldner over Pike as we've crossed past the halfway point. And let's look back off of Goldner's tail tank back at the closing. Jareth Pike, as you see him making his way down the back straightaway. Stephen Goldner's got some company. Pike within 0.3 of a second. That is very little distance here at the Fairbury Speedway. 2 laps to go, making a lap and a half for Goldner. Pike is there. Is he waiting to throw the big slide job? He can't wait much longer because the white flag, it is displayed to the field. Preston Cranmer closing in on them, but he's going to run out of time. Pike's going to dive to the bottom. Final set of turns, and it will be Stephen Goldner holding on for the victory in the 30. And a good contest there for the top spot in our 3rd heat race of the night. Again, that was your Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team heat race. It goes into the books and is official. And we'll take a look at those results from our 3rd heat race. Stephen Goldner picks up the win by 0.3 of a second over Jareth Pike, Preston Cranmer, and Jeremy Paulson. They have their tickets for tonight's main event in their hands. Sean Bowers, Jeffrey Parker, Jack Hitt finish 5th, 6th, and 7th, and they'll head to tonight's consolation feature. The 4th heat race tonight brought to us by Mr. Plummer has Brian Moore Jr. on the pole position. That is the driver of the 09 machine. Alongside him, Garrett Papayat, coming off a 3rd place run earlier tonight in the Rebel Series. That's the number 47 machine. Trentford Stratton drives the 88. He'll start 3rd on the grid with Fitzy. Jeff Fitzpatrick, the number 90, alongside him, your 4th starter. Row number 3, Daniel Vaught, the 180 on the inside. John Hine and the 71 on the outside. And that will be your full lineup. Connor Ross doing some admin duties tonight. Not going to jump behind the wheel of that 35 machine. So that is your starting lineup. 6 cars, 8 laps. Top 4 go directly to tonight's SBGC 3D Printing A feature. Mr. Plummer is Atlanta's most trusted name in plumbing and drain services. Regardless of your plumbing issue, their dedicated staff can get the job done right the first time. Mr. Plummer has been serving the Atlanta metro area for decades, and they bring that experience to every job they do. That's Mr. Plummer, bringing us heat race number 4, one of our newest sponsors here on Monday Night Madness. We welcome them to our GeForce family here this week. Looks like we will go with 5 cars on this one, as Garrett Papayat not making the call, scheduled to be in this heat race. Again, as I mentioned, he was 3rd earlier in the Rebels race to transfer in to this show. A lot of yellow cars in this heat race. Don't always see that. Pair of yellow machines on that front row. Here we go. Fitzy from the outside of the front row. Going to try to sail it on into the first turn. The 9-0 and 0-9. Jeff Fitzpatrick, Brian Moore Jr. going to do battle here for the race lead. Fitzpatrick on the top, Moore to his inside. They nearly touched tires as they raced into turn number 1. They've got John Hine not far behind them. Hine running in third for Stratton. Currently holds the final transfer spot in front of Daniel Vaught. Battle for the lead continues as Fitzy gets it loose, getting into 1. Moore sneaks by. Fitzy with the run back to his inside. He'll go down, hugs the bottom of the racetrack, but Moore's got the run on the outside, and Brian Moore Jr. goes to the race lead here in our Mr. Plummer Heat Race number 4. Here comes John Hine on the move, the 71 machine. The Cruise Shop, number 71, dipping to the inside of Fitzpatrick. Can't make the move, but the race for second is on. Again, Fitzpatrick holds on off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. They race into 3. Hine on the inside, Fitzpatrick on the top. Fitzpatrick strong with the momentum, and now 3 laps to go. Brian Moore Jr. starting to pull away on this one. About 1 second advantage on this one. As let's go on board your 4th place running car, the 88 of Trent Verstraeten. Verstraeten working over the 71 of John Hine. But still holding on to a transfer spot is the driver of the 88 machine. He'll dip to the inside just a little bit as you see the white flag in the air. Verstraeten trying to make the move, gets the car loose. Here comes Vaught for the final transfer spot as Brian Moore Jr. takes the win. Fitzy goes second. Hine and at the line, the final transfer spot goes to Daniel Vaught, sneaking in there on the final circuit. Wow, big change there right at the end of our Mr. Plummer Heat Race number 4. Let's take a look at the results as they go official. As we know, it's always important to look at the official results compared to the timing and scoring live ticker that you see on the screen. And there you see Brian Moore Jr., Jeff Fitzpatrick, John Hine, Daniel Vaught going to the main event. Less than 0.2 of a second. Vaught beating out Verstraeten for that position. We have one more heat race on the books here for tonight. Heat race number 5 has Nathan Aldrich, the 151 car. He'll start on the inside of row number 1. Next to him, it'll be the Skittles, number 20, the Candyman, Blake Chapman, going to start outside of the front row. Feature winner already this season and number 2 in the point standings, John Short. He'll start third on the grid in the 51. Kevin Fry, the number 21 machine, he's your 4th starter. Dan McLaren in car number 89. He'll start inside the 3rd row. Matt Ramsey going to go next to him in the number 45 machine. And Roger Craig in the 747. Your 7th and final starter as it looks on this one. So that is your grid for heat race number 5 for the SBGC 3D printing Renegades here for week number 3. Still love the look of Nathan Aldrich and the 151 machine. So excited to get Houston Speedway back open. Full season this year for the racetrack, 4 minutes from my house. Excited to get into the announce booth for a full year. Mostly Sunday night action. World of Outlaws, NOS energy drinks, sprint cars coming back. Going to be a great season here in Brandon, South Dakota. Right now, Aldrich brings us to the green. Chapman alongside him. They'll form up in rows of 2, and we are green on heat race number 5. As we've seen all night, Aldrich gets the car loose, and he's going to slip back in the field as Blake Chapman, using that high line, now dips to the bottom of 3 and 4 and rips it to the lead, putting the first lap into the books. He is your leader. Kevin Fry from 4th on the grid. He runs in 2nd just in front of John Short. Dan McLaren right now has the final transfer spot, but take a look at this. McLaren has his hands full. Matt Ramsey gets a nose in front of him. Here comes Aldrich. 3-car battle for the final transfer position to tonight's A-Main. That 89 of Dan McLaren sliding up the racetrack. Matt Ramsey working the bottom. Aldrich right there trying to pick the line to which is going to be the winning line to get back into a transfer spot. Right now, McLaren holding on to the transfer. Blake Chapman still out front. No contest right now on him as Kevin Fry 0.6 of a second back. John Short comfortably in the 3rd position. McLaren now's got a little bit of breathing room between he and Nathan Aldrich, who is 1 out of a transfer spot. Matt Ramsey's fallen out of contention on that one for the time being. Meanwhile, Blake Chapman working the bottom. Kevin Fry trying to work the top with 2 laps to go. Does Fry have time to make that high line, build enough momentum to get there? The answer We'll find out in one lap because the white flag is out. Final circuit for your race leader, Blake Chapman, down the back stretch as Kevin Fry's got a little bit of company. John Short closing in on him. Looks like the bottom of the racetrack coming around nicely as Chapman takes the checkered. Fry goes second. Short going to come home third. And the 89 of Dan McLaren going to hold on for that fourth and final ticket directly to tonight's SBGC 3D printing main event. That's going to put 5 heat races in the book for Monday Night Madness on GeForce TV and GeForce Esports. Quick look at your official results here from heat race number 5. You'll see Blake Chapman the winner by 9/10 over Kevin Fry, John Short, and Dan McLaren. Aldrich, Ramsey, they're getting ready for some consolation action, which, by the way, is 10 laps in distance. Top 4 will transfer to tonight's A feature in the starting lineup as Joe Backus. He drives out of South Dakota. He's about 20 minutes from my house and probably 30 minutes from Houston Speedway. And I know he's happy to have the track open again. The number 46 on the pole, Lance Ripka, who's interestingly enough about 30 minutes the opposite direction from my house over in Minnesota. He lines up position number 2. Not many drivers in this league are near me. Sean Bowers lines up on the inside of the second row. Trent Verstraeten, the wide open Motorsports 88 alongside him. Row number 3, Nathan Aldrich on the inside, the 151 with Corey Kussler in the 126 going from 6th. Row number 4, Zane Walters, the 31 inside, Jeffrey Barker outside in the 513. Garrett Papayat scheduled to start 9th in the 47. Matt Ramsey goes 10th in the 45. G.J. Boydell inside row number 6 in the 14 with Matthew Croakey starting outside row 6. And your final starter scheduled to be the 217 of Jack Hitt. That is the lineup, the SBGC 3D printing main event. Up next right now, it's the SBGC 3D printing B feature event. Event 10 laps. There's going to be a lot of action here. The drivers are going to have to keep their eyes open, try to keep the nose of their cars clean to finish in a front 4 spot and move on to the dance here tonight. Green flag is out, 10 laps in the SBGC 3D printing B main, and it's underway. Backus gets a little bit loose. Everybody all over the field, a big pack of cars putting lap number 1 into the books. Backus is your leader, but no breathing room for any of these drivers on the racetrack. Right now, we've got a car sideways on the back straightaway. It looked like the 03 of Sean Bowers. It is. He's gone pit side, and he's out of contention for tonight. Meanwhile, Trent Verstraeten, he'll go to the race lead in the 88. Lance Ripka now in second. Corey Kussler runs in third. Joe Backus on the bumble. He's got the final transfer spot just in front of Nathan Aldrich. Coming through the field is Matthew Croakey. He is storming through the field. He's already gained 6 spots. Started 12th. He runs in 6th, but that's not good enough. He's gained 6 spots, and the key number is 6 laps to go. Croakey goes to the bottom, Backus through the middle, Aldrich on the top. Aldrich gets into the concrete on the front straightaway. Croakey goes by him, and Matthew Croakey now into 5th. He's 1 out of a transfer. Joe Backus working to the bottom, working to the inside of Corey Kussler. Kussler runs 3rd, Backus at 4th. Oh, we've got contact. Croakey going around in turn number 2. He'll get the car pointed in the right direction, but he has lost all kinds of ground. So now Joe Backus in the 3rd spot as he gets by Corey Kussler. Kussler into the bubble position, 0.4 of a second in front of Zane Walters. Walters charging, and he wants that final transfer spot. He's passed 2 cars in this main event. Here it comes to the outside of Kussler, side by side into turn number 3. The 151 of Aldrich to the bottom, 3 wide, battling for the final transfer spot. White flag in the air here at Fairbury. Verstraeten, Ripka, Backus, they look like they're going to the show. Who gets the last ticket to the main? Kussler, big slider, and it will be return favor. Zane Walters nips him at the line for the 4th spot to go to tonight's main event. Oh my, what an SPGC 3D printing B main that was here tonight at the Fairbury Speedway. We better take a look at the results here real briefly as we welcome you in to tonight's intermission, brought to us by Icon Sim Sports. There you see Verstraeten, Ripka, Backus, and Walters. They go to the show, about a half a tenth Walters beating out Kussler for the transfer spot. But Pyatt, Aldrich, Ramsey, Boydell, Croakey, Barker, Bowers, and Hitt. Your official finish in tonight's B main. Icon Sim Sports brings you this break right before tonight's main event to stand up, stretch out, get yourself a cold beverage. And as you do that, check out iconsimsports.com, where they aim to bring the sim racing community a one-of-a-kind fixed chassis experience that's truly like none other. They exemplify extraordinary customer service with each and every order. At Icon Sim Sports, they'll build you a sim racing chassis that's built specifically for you, the custom chassis engineered to accommodate your needs, your wants, all while replicating the look, feel, and design of a real race car of your choice. Head on over to Icon Sim Sports to see more. We've got your SPGC 3D Printing Renegades main event right around the corner from the Fairbury Speedway, and you're going to watch it live right here on GeForce TV and GeForce Esports when we return after these messages.
I love being home.
It all starts with the right house. That's where we come in. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home. I love being home.
From finding the perfect house to making it your home, we'll be with you every step of the way. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home.
Welcome back to Monday Night Madness here from the Fairbury Way with the GeForce Racing Leagues and here on GeForce Esports. While you're here, make sure to give the YouTube page a nice like so you know every time the GeForce Racing Leagues go live, and you'll see all the action that they have for you to be broadcast, including Wednesday nights, the Welcome Home Wednesdays, Hometown Heroes, every Wednesday night from the Cedar Lake Speedway, 305 sprint cars starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. They have a touring division come in the next hour, and then the whole night wraps up with 410 Outlaw sprint cars each and every Wednesday night from the Cedar Lake Speedway. It is the Icon Sim Sports Hometown Heroes, and you can see all three divisions live right here. And then, of course, Thursday night, we'll have the Big Block Modifieds, the Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Big Block Modifieds coming up on a Thursday night, and Spartan Racing Pro Late Models on Friday nights, part of the whole slew of broadcast events here with GeForce TV. We'll have a whole lot going on here each and every week, so make sure to take a look at that. And as I said, make sure to give a like and a follow while you're there. And go to GeForceRL.com to see what leagues you can find there. And, of course, look up GeForce Racing Leagues on Facebook and like those pages to see all the latest information coming out from the 20-plus divisions for the GeForce Racing Leagues. Of course, there's a league for everybody. Just head on over to GeForceRL.com and apply to get in on the drama-free action. It is time for tonight's SBGC 3D printing main event here from the Fairbury Speedway. And here is your starting lineup. On the pole in the number 69, it's Aiden Young, and next to him, the 55 of Stephen Spees. Row number 2, it's last week's winner, Stephen Goldner, inside, outside, Brian Moore Jr. in the 09. Third row, Blake Chapman in the 20, inside, Brennan Lacey, the Rebels winner tonight in the 414. He'll start 6th. Your 7th starter is the 57 of Jesse Bandy, and alongside him in row 8, the number 91 of Jareth Pike. 5th row on the inside, Jeff Fitzpatrick in car number 90, and the 10th starter is Kevin Fry in number 21. Your points leader starts 11th. That's the 123 of Lane Snook. And joining him in the 6th row, it's Chad Cote in number 11. 13th starter, the 07 of Preston Cranmer. Inside, outside, it is the 71 of John Hine. John Short starts 15th on the grid, the number 51 machine with Kyle Moonen next to him in the number 24. Row number 9, Stephen Fernberg inside, the 29 machine with Jeremy Paulson, the 000 next to him. Daniel Vaught starts 19th on the grid, and outside of the 10th row, Dan McLaren. That's the 180 and the 89. Trent Verstraeten, your B-main winner, starts 21st in the 88. Lance Ripka next to him in the 125. And your 12th and final row, Joe Backus in the 46 inside, Zane Walters, the 31 on the outside. That is your starting lineup for tonight's SBGC 3D printing main event here from the Fairbury Speedway. 30 laps on the board. The field coming to the green flag. Young, Spees, put it down. Here we go into turn number 1. 30 times around this track, and immediately they go 4 wide for the second spot. Then they think better of it. Sort it out to just, happy 3 wide racing here on the first lap. 1 lap in, and it is the 55 of Spees leading by a slim margin at the line. Young works to the bottom. Here comes Brendan Lacey after both of them. Right behind them, last week's winner, Stephen Goldner, already in the 4th spot as the 20 of Blake Chapman completes the top 5. We work to lap number 3. It is Stephen Spees showing the way in the 55. Now Young to the bottom, Lacey ripping the top. Racey's got the run, and he's got the 2nd spot. Wow, look at him behind that, though, just outside the top 5. This is incredible action as the yellow is out for the first time here in tonight's main event as we go under the yellow. Oh, boy. My heart rate is up already. And we're just a few laps into this one. Trouble for Preston Cranmer, the 07, has fallen deep in the field. In fact, he has made a trip to the pit area with his 07 machine where he sits getting repairs right now. So that is the reason for the caution right now as we go under a Malcolm Mills mill-riding caution. Malcolm Mills, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm Mills Mill-Riding, full-service mill-riding contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and they service their industrial clients. Learn more at mmmillwriting.com. Of course, drivers also got their eyes on the Cool Rays Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Hard Charger Award. We'll tell you more about that coming up because right now we're back to green off of turn number 4. Stephen Spees in control of this one. Oh, no, he's not. We've got a pile up in turn number 1 down there in the first turn. Spees gets contact, and we've got a couple of cars laying on their side. One is going to be Stephen Spees. The other, the 69 of Aiden Young, now gets his car pointed and back underway. But, oh, my goodness, what a heartbreaker for the 55 of Stephen Spees. He had the lead, and just a little bit of contact there getting into turn number 1, and all sorts of problems after that. As we've got another Malcolm Mills caution flag out over the speedway early on in tonight's feature event here for the SBGC 3D printing Renegades. Started to tell you about Cool Rays Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical and Cooling. Their goal is always to make sure that Ray's tradition of 100% customer satisfaction lives on today. They're very proud of their reputation of providing excellent service and to homeowners and businesses in Georgia. That's Cool Rays bringing us the Hard Charger Award. Now, Brendan Lacey showing the way. The 414 brings us back to the green. He'll sail it down into turn one. Here comes Jeff Fitzpatrick to the inside looking for second. He'll have it, at least momentarily. Here's Stephen Goldner to the top. Coming after him as they come back down the front straightaway. The 90 of Fitzpatrick all over Brendan Lacey. Fitzpatrick works the bottom. Just saw a big slide job from Jesse Bandy behind them. Bandy moving into the top 5 into 57 machine is hearing some cars banging into the wall a little bit here, a little bit there. And we've got a caution flag over the speedway with 22 to go here tonight at the Fairbury Speedway. Things happen in a hurry on this little quarter mile, and looks like we've got some trouble here. And not exactly sure. Looks like Zane Walters had trouble there to bring out the caution flag. So the driver of the 31 with some troubles here, putting us under the caution. Next Monday Night Madness heads to the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, week number 4 from Charlotte. 4/10 of a mile racetrack. 2/5 for those of you who like to reduce your fractions. Drives math teachers nuts when you say 4/10. I've learned that. Back to the green. Here we go. Jeff Fitzpatrick is your race leader out front in the number 90. He'll work the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, just like Fitzy's trying to make me a liar here tonight. I said very rarely does the groove go to the bottom here at Fairbury. Right now, that's the groove he has used to drive +8 here tonight. So he's looking for that Cool Rays Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Hard Charger Award is the driver who's out front. Now, Brendan Lacey changes lines back there in the second spot. He starts to work the bottom. Stephen Goldner, though, he's up on top trying to build the momentum and come after him. Lacey in second, Goldner in third. Blake Chapman runs fourth. Jesse Bandy in fifth. Kevin Fry runs sixth. Lane Snook is seventh. Jareth Pike is eighth. John Short has gained 6 spots. He runs ninth. John Hine has gained 4 spots. He runs in 10th as he battles with Chad Cota for that position. Right now, we've got trouble on the front straightaway. Kevin Fry turned into the front straightaway wall in the 21. And we've got a caution flag over the speedway. Kevin Fry battling for position. I believe it was the 51 of John Short. They touched wheels on the front straightaway, and 21 got the short end of that one that just turned his car to the right, and he made some pretty hard contact with the wall right at the flag stand, as you saw the field flash by them there as we were watching the battles all over the speedway. So under the caution now, 17 laps to go in tonight's SBGC 3D printing main event. SBGC 3D printing bringing us all of the action with the Renegades all season long. Really cool business, and so glad to have them on board. They can do small business productions, and they can also do oil and gas prototypes, props for cosplay. SBGC 3D printing really has done it all. Plus wall hanging, racetracks. They've done gears, hydraulic pump parts, label holders, fishing poles, and gun wall mounts, chamber chillers, soap dishes, predator light mounts, so much more. Really, really cool stuff that they can do at SBGC 3D printing. They bring us all of the Renegades action all season long. We had a very momentary green flag action. A couple cars getting tangled up deep in the field. Put us back under the yellow. So Jeff Fitzpatrick showing the way in this one. That number 90 machine, the driver out of Minnesota, your race leader. First trip in this season for Fitzpatrick into the Renegades division. Looking strong in this one, but that driver right behind him. Now is Stephen Goldner. Goldner, we talked all about him last week. many times that 30 machine has been to victory lane. 25 times with the GeForce Racing Leagues. I believe was the number. 34 wins for Stephen Goldner in his career with the GeForce Racing Leagues. There, I got to add them all up. Here we go. Back to green. Fitzpatrick showing the way. The Vanderbilt Racing number 90. In the bottom. He'll take him down the back straightaway. 16 laps to go. The field making their way around to 15 laps remaining. Jesse Bandy not too far behind them. The 57 I saw throw a slide job. Blake Chapman gets back by him. Look at the battle here for right around that 5th spot. Chapman, Bandy, Lane Snook into the mix. He's gained 5 spots. John Short right down next to the tires on the bottom of the speedway. This is quite a battle. That is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th all in the mix just in front of the 71 of John Hine. 2 by 2 they were going. Here goes Short to the bottom. He's going to get at least one position out of all of that as he gets by Chapman. Bandy runs it 4th. Now Snook and Short battle for the 5th spot. So Jesse Bandy on the top. And the 51 of John Short, pardon the pun, he is taking the short way around the track as the caution comes out. We had a car upside down at the top of turn number 4. Well, that'll put us back under the yellow in this one. So yellow flag over the speedway with just outside of 10 laps to go. Malcolm Mills replay coming up here. Sounds like trouble for Stephen Goldner, who was had a pretty good run goal in here tonight. We'll take a look at the Malcolm Mills replay here and see exactly how this transpired for the driver of the 30 for the issue there on the top side of turn number 4. Feel bad for Stephen Goldner as so many people racing here at Fairbury, they find that outside wall just like he did. And pack it up and hope for better luck next Monday Night Madness with the SBGC 3D printing Renegades. Fitzpatrick, your leader. Brendan Lacey, Jesse Bandy, Lane Snook, John Short, the top 5. 11 green flag laps remain, and we go back to it. Fitzpatrick from 9th on the starting grid, your leader down the back straightaway and immediately out to about an 8/10 of a second lead. Brendan Lacey in 2nd. Here comes Jesse Bandy and Lane Snook. They run for 3rd as John Short works the bottom right behind them. John Hine right there as the 23 of Snook, the 57 of Bandy, side by side. Now let's make it a 3-car battle as Joe Backus going to bring out the caution. The 46 machine looped it over in turn number 4. Yellow is out here inside of 10 laps to go in tonight's SBGC 3D printing main event. Been really interesting seeing how this track has changed in the course of this 30-lap feature. All night long, all the drivers want right up there on the top of the racetrack, and it looked like right at the start, the 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick said, I'm going to work the bottom in this A main, and that is exactly what he's done to perfection. Started 9th, leads this. He's got the 414 Brendan Lacey right behind him. Lacey picked up the win earlier tonight in the Rebel Series. Jesse Bandy in 3rd. Lane Snook, your points leader, +7. John Hine +10, completing the top 5. We're back to green. 9 laps to go. Fitzy will head it on down into turn number 3. Lacey to the top of the racetrack, trying to build the momentum. John Short's going to change his line in the 51 machine. He goes to the top, working over the 23 of Lane Snook for the 4th spot with the 57 of Jesse Bandy in that battle as well. Off of turn 4, that race down the front straightaway. Short on the top will now get by Snook as he got loose off of turn number 4. John Hine going to try to get up on his ponies and chase that battle down as Snook goes back to the inside of Short looking for that spot. They nearly touch wheels off of turn number 4 and 6 laps to go. Fitzpatrick enjoying a 1.3 lead. We've got trouble for John Short. The 51 has trouble and is upside down in turn 2. So another driver in the top 5 here tonight has trouble and is upside down on the speedway. Wow, what another tough break there for the driver of the 51. Got into turn number 1, too high, made contact with the concrete, and then the ride was on. He flipped it several times, had some other cars get contact with him. Oh, wow, that changes everything here tonight. Again, in the top 5, and it's going to eliminate a strong lead that Jeff Fitzpatrick had, as he'll bunch up with the rest of the field behind your iRacing pace truck. Fitzpatrick is your leader. Lacey runs second. Bandy, Snook, and now John Hine into the top 5. Kyle Moonen is up to 6. That's a +6 for him in the course of this one. Here we go. Back to green. 5 fingers in the air. 5 laps to go. Jeff Fitzpatrick off of turn number 4 continues to work that bottom at a feverish pace. Does Brennan Lacey have the time to build the momentum and get there? They'll head through turn 3 off of turn number 4. Fitzy's got the car pitched sideways. 3 laps to go in this one. Lacey, Bandy, Snook, and Moonen remain the top 5. John Hine in the 6th spot, working over Moonen for that spot. Just in front of Blake Chapman. Fitzpatrick leads now by 3/4 of a second with 2 laps to go down the back stretch and into turn 3. Yellow is out. Hold everything. We've got trouble. And a yellow flag to set up a green, white, checkered dash here tonight as Kevin Fry and the number 21 machine had trouble on the front straightaway to bring out the caution. That's the second time Fry has been caught up in an incident here tonight with that 21. Wow, oh wow. Here we go. Jeff Fitzpatrick has been masterful on these restarts all main event long. He's going to have to hit his marks again one last time at least. The 414 of Brennan Lacey restarts second. Jesse, Bandy, Lane Snook, Kyle Moonen. It's a Bandy-built top 5 right now with 2 laps to go. Hine, Cote, Chapman, Verstraeten, and Fernberg. The rest of the top 10. Green flag is out. 2 laps to go. A shootout at Fairbury for the checkered here tonight. 3 wide for the second spot. Lacey has it. Bandy went through the middle. Snook on the bottom. Snook goes back to the inside of Bandy, working as Bandy gets the wall. Fitzy down into turn number 1. White flag is out. This one will finish. Down the backstretch. Final time into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Shaky's going to get the win. Jeff Fitzpatrick wins Monday Night Madness at Fairbury. Brennan Lacey goes second. Jesse Bandy goes third. Lane Snook fourth. Kyle Moonen finishes in the top 5. Wow, what an event here tonight as your hard charger is going to go +13. That's going to be Trent Verstraeten back in the 8th spot. He gained 13 positions in tonight's main event. He'll pick up the Cool Rays Hard Charger Award here tonight. So, wow, what a night it was. And the top 3 going to park here on the front straightaway, all representing Bandy-built. What a night. And we're going to hear from our top 3 finishers tonight in our Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation. Stick around for that, ladies and gentlemen. And I think you want to stick around for our winner specifically. This is going to be a fun Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation. Yeah, stick around for this one. Epsilon Sprint Wraps, if you're looking to stand out from the competition, Epsilon Sprint Wraps creates tailor-made graphics and logos to fit your personal taste. They've got a focus on realistic design. You'll look like you drove off your local dirt track and into iRacing. Champions choose Epsilon Sprint Wraps. What a feature event it was here tonight. Let's start the podium presentation presented by Epsilon Sprint Wraps. And we're going to start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight. That is Jesse Bandy, the number 57 ride. Jesse, +4 tonight on the podium. Not a bad night for the number 57.
Yeah, finally shake the monkey off her back and have a nice clean run for once and put something together. It was nice.
This racetrack's demanding. I'd imagine you're sweating right 30 laps around this place.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know if I'm sweating more from nervous for Fitzy or for trying to keep the car off the wall. But yeah, no, it was a good run.
How wild is it going to be? My interview here with Fitzy here in 2?
Well, we could say he just went to crack a beer, so he's trying to get rid of the jitters there and get that throttle lube flowing through him. He's probably feeling like he's low on sugar for a diabetic or something, I'm sure.
I know that feeling. Let's talk about one more thing I want to bring up with you. Vanderbilt Racing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here tonight. What's that say about this team?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. We just clicked so well, and, it's too bad we lost Goldner there. He got into the wall there, and he was running well right up there with us. But, yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, man. We click so well, and it's just a good group of guys. I really don't know what else to say other than that.
There was a lot of traffic really early on in this race. Wide was not out of the question multiple times. How intense was the pucker factor in this race?
Oh, man, he didn't. If you go up top, you're wondering if the guy around the middle is going to come up a couple times, as in that situation. Blake Chapman there tried to get around him a couple times. He raced me clean. If it wasn't for him running me clean, I probably wouldn't even got this podium. So, I mean, it's just nice to be able to run clean with guys. And so I probably owe him a shout-out there as well.
Speaking of shout-outs, I know a lot of good folks help the team. Let's talk about them before we move on to number 2 here tonight.
Yeah, bioil.com, Fitzpatrick Photography, Dirt Doctor Trucking, everybody at BBR, Powerhouse Motorsports, Wagaman Brothers, everybody. It's awesome, man. We just got a lot of good practice days and a lot of fun. That's what it really comes down to.
Always fun when you finish on the podium as well. Jesse, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, buddy.
Jesse Bandy going to finish in 3rd here tonight. Coming home in the runner-up spot, another representative of Vanderbilt Racing, Brennan Lacey. Not only a 2nd place here in the Renegades tonight, but a strong win tonight in the Rebels division. So, Brennan, pretty good night overall for the 414 ride.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Having to come from that first division there, the C division, it kind of makes it rough because, passing a lot of cars and just trying to stay up front. But we were able to do that in all 3 and ended up in the big one here at the end, and just really proud of the run we had.
How tempted were you at points? Fitzpatrick came through the field real quick there early on, and it looked like your car was set up for the top and was really working up there. And then all of a sudden, he made that bottom work.
Yeah, I started 6th on that first lap. There was a gap already on the start, and I hit it, and I was in 2nd in no time. And, from there, it really just took off. And I had a little bit of incident there at I can't remember who it was in front of me. I don't know if he hit the wall or if I just got in there too hot. But had that happen, and then we had that restart. Next thing I know, I see a 90 car flying by me on the bottom, and after that, there was no way I could catch him.
It seemed like he was really nailing his restarts and getting great drive off the corner. Did you ever think about, trying to dive in on the bottom on a restart? Like, what was the game plan out there?
I knew he was going to go to the bottom, and I tried a couple times to get about a car length outside of him and try and get it under him. But, as soon as he hit the gas, he was hooked up, and I was spinning. So, you can't really judge anything off that. But we got up there to the top, and I was really just kind of hoping either something was going to happen down there, or be able to get some kind of run there late. But, Fitzpatrick drove a hell of a race up front.
Going into a night where you're going to race twice at Fairbury and to be on the podium twice and not go home with any crinkled wings, that's a victory in my book right there. Who do you need to thank for the great night of racing?
Just a huge shout out to the Vanderbilt race cars. Them boys are great. Fitz with the win tonight. That's huge for him. So we're going to be celebrating that one for a couple weeks here. And Jesse had a heck of a run. We had a 1 through 5 tonight, I believe. So team's really rolling good. Special thanks to Schultz and Moonin. Goldner for being my fuel man. Sometimes he leaves me short, but tonight he got it done, and just real proud of the guys I get to run with there.
All right, there he is, Brendan Lacey, your runner-up here tonight at the Fairbury Speedway. That leaves one driver to talk to, and let's talk to this guy. I don't even know what to ask you, Fitzy. Jeff Fitzpatrick, your winner tonight here at the Fairbury Speedway. All right, well, we'll let the cat out of the bag. I know you, right? So how bad are you shaking right now?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Those last 5 laps, man, I almost just threw the steering wheel away.
How intense was that? It seemed like your car was just perfect on the bottom of this racetrack.
So what we set it up for the bottom, and I wasn't going to leave the bottom, and I just the cautions were really making me nervous because I'd get my momentum going and just getting a good rhythm, and then the yellow would come out, and I don't know I hope I didn't mess up some of them starts they got on me and told me to keep a pace, but with my foot shaking, it's hard to keep pace sometimes. But man, it was good. It was awesome racing.
The race started. You started back in ninth, and didn't take long, and suddenly you're up there in the front. Like, how did you get there so fast?
Luck. There was good luck, and there's nobody in my way, and the car was hooked up, and it was hooked up all night long, in the feature, and it was a good night.
Now, for folks who don't know, we call you Shaky because in RC car racing, we hold radios and controllers in our hands, and the only person I've ever seen shake more during an RC race than me is you. And so if anyone questions if your foot was shaking, I'll vouch for you, man.
Yeah. I damn near lost the controller out of my hands a few times, so yeah, I do shake.
How big is this to get the 90 car to the winner's circle tonight?
Oh, it's awesome, man! It's the first feature win with G Sport and in this division here, and it's awesome, man. Perfect for the team. We got an awesome group of guys, and everybody's happy, congratulating, and all that good stuff. And we all have a good time.
Most people, they celebrate a big win like this in a sprint car, and they'd go climb up and maybe celebrate on top of the wing. I don't think we would let you do that. I don't think it'd be safe for you, but you deserve to celebrate this one. Let's hear about all the great people who helped get you here.
Well, first of all, I got to thank Coors Light because that just calmed me down a little bit. No, everybody at the Vanderbilt shop, man, it's a good group of guys. I'm shaking so bad I can't even think of all their names, so I'm not even going to try. Velocity Race Design, man, they make some awesome looking cars. Bio.com, Wegman Brothers, Dirt Doctor, and you guys putting on this broadcast. It's awesome. I can't wait to go back and watch, see what happens there, and for Roger and everybody at GForce for putting the league on.
When you go back and watch the broadcast, your heart's going to sink again when the caution flag comes out with 2 laps to go. But you survived. You are the winner tonight. Congratulations, Jeff Fitzpatrick, main winner.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So did Bandy set me up?
For what? To call you Shaky?
Yeah.
No. That's only because you and I go way back. No, he didn't say anything about it.
Okay.
But you know what? There's other stories and other nicknames we could use that we'll save for another week.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Jeff Fitzpatrick, your winner here tonight at the Fairbury Speedway. He's going to go celebrate with some cold blue mountains. We'll apologize for the language, but you can't blame a guy when he's that excited for getting out of a car as the winner here tonight at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. Congratulations to him. Brendan Lacey and Jesse Bandy, your top 3 here tonight. Also, congratulations once again, Trent Verstraeten, not making his way up here to the podium, but he is tonight's Cool Rays Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Hard Charger Award recipient. If you're down there in Georgia, keep in mind Cool Rays and their tradition of 100% customer satisfaction. That's going to just about wrap it up. 3 weeks in of the Renegade season, 3 different winners. Next Monday night, we head to the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't forget, more racing action coming up here on GeForce TV and GeForce Esports. We will have your Welcome Home Wednesdays, Icon Sim Sports Hometown Heroes from Cedar Lake Speedway. 3 hours of racing action there. Thursday Night Thunder, the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds, and Spartan Racing Pro Late Models Friday night. All this week, all right here on GeForce TV. For everybody here with the GeForce Racing Leagues, for my producer Ryan Dugan and Advantage Racing TV, I'm Sean Neested, wishing you a good night. God bless. We'll see you back at the track real soon. Good night, everybody.